Hi, I'm Dr. Jen Yoakum. Today we're going to be making 3 different tomato toasts using heirloom tomatoes and other ripe tomatoes right now. We're going to start by making a tomato toast, which has roasted tomatoes and a really yummy, cheesy vegan spread. So you're going to start by roasting the tomatoes. So we're going to take 6 to 8 grape or cherry sized tomatoes, and in my case I'm using Kumato, which are my favorite because they're really flavorful. And you want to put the halves on a parchment lined baking sheet, and I'm using the one for my toaster oven because I'm only making enough for 1 to 2 toasts here. So you're going to place them with the cut side up onto that parchment lined sheet. And because I'm going to be making some roasted garlic spread for a different toast later, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the tops of those garlic cloves and put them on this baking sheet as well. Roasted garlic is super yummy, and I would recommend doing that anytime that you're roasting vegetables. You're going to coat everything with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil here, and some freshly cracked salt and freshly cracked pepper. We're also going to put a little bit of thyme, just dried thyme, on these as well because that's really good with roasted tomatoes. And a little bit of oregano as well. Those 2 spices are my favorite for roasted tomatoes. We're going to place the tomatoes and the garlic in the toaster oven at 425 on bake for about 20 minutes or so. Next, we're going to make the creamy, cheesy chive spread. I use Kite Hill cream cheese, which is an almond milk based cream cheese because I just like the taste of it the best, but you can use whatever your favorite vegan cream cheese is. And you want to use about 4 ounces or about half of the container and place that in a bowl. Next, we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of white or yellow miso, which is a very mild miso, and you can use chickpea miso here if you can't do soy, a tablespoon of nutritional yeast, and a few chives that we're just going to chop up here, about 5 to 6 chives, chopping them pretty small. Add the chives to the bowl and mix so that everything is nice and creamy and smooth. Next, we're going to get the roasted tomatoes out of the oven. They look so yummy and they're just so sweet when they bake down. So you see how they've gotten a little smaller. Then we're going to go ahead and toast some bread. So I'm using Be Free brand bread here, which is a nice multi-grain long bread that's gluten-free. I just really like the taste of it. So take a piece of toast. We're going to assemble everything now by putting some of that chive spread on that toast. It's so good. I can't wait for you guys to try it. Next, we're going to put on some of the roasted tomatoes and just put on as many as you'd like. Here, I'm going to put on like 8 or so. Let's see what I can fit on here. That looks good. And next we're going to add some fresh basil. It's just putting some leaves here and there on the toast. It gives it that nice pop of freshness and that yummy herby goodness that basil is. Basil and tomatoes are just such a perfect pairing, and I try to put basils on everything I have with my tomatoes. And there you have it. So now comes the best part, getting to try it. It's really good with the roasted tomatoes, they really make it. And the saltiness from the miso and and the cheese. Really good. The basil kind of gives it right that good little kick of herb. It's gonna be hard not to eat the whole thing. And then the next one we're finishing up is the fried green tomatoes. So I'm really excited for that toast. It is my son's favorite and my favorite, so it'll be sure to please your family too. Next, we're going to make a fried green heirloom tomato toast. And this one is just a great way to use these heirloom tomatoes that are in season in late summer and even slightly into the early fall. So for this toast, you want to have 2 slices of heirloom tomato per toast slice, and you want them to be about a 1/4 inch thick. In a bowl, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of blanched almond flour, which is what we're going to use to coat the tomatoes in to give it a nice crispy coating. Take each tomato slice and place it in the almond flour and dredge it on both sides until it's pretty evenly coated. To a frying pan, add about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil and then move the pan around to coat the bottom evenly. Add your tomatoes to the hot frying pan and allow them to cook for about 4 to 5 minutes on each side or until they are nice and golden brown. When they're golden brown on both sides, they're ready to come out, and so you can place them on a paper towel lined plate to help soak up any excess oil. Next, it's time to assemble. So we're going to take some of that Kite Hill cream cheese, just basic cream cheese, and spread it on for a little extra creaminess on this toast. Next, we're going to go ahead and add both of those tomato slices to the toast. And last but not least, we're going to add just a little bit of basil for garnish. And there it is, heirloom tomato toast. So now to try the fried green tomato one. It's a little crunchy from the almond flour that we put on there. I don't know why, but it reminds me of home. I grew up on the eastern shore of Maryland, and there's something about the almond and the tomatoes that just reminds me of fried oysters. I don't know why, but it's really good. I think your family's gonna love this one too. Next, we're going to make a fresh heirloom tomato toast. You can use any color heirloom tomato you want here. I have a really beautiful one that is a yellow with red and a little bit of green on it. So I'm going to use 1 slice of that and about a 1/4 inch thick. So beautiful, these heirloom tomatoes that are in season. And I'm going to use a red one just for some nice contrast. But again, you can use whatever color you would like, and I'm slicing it a little bit thicker than a 1/4 there. So you're going to take about 2 tablespoons of Kite Hill cream cheese or any other favorite cream cheese that you have. You're going to place it in a bowl, and then we're going to take that roasted garlic that we made earlier, and we're going to squeeze it out of the skins and place it in the bowl. Once you have all of the garlic cloves in the bowl, you're going to smash it with either a fork or the back of a spoon and get the garlic as smushed and in there as possible, and just stirring everything up until it's nicely combined. Here I used 3 to 4 garlic cloves. If you don't like garlic, you can use a little bit less, but I really like garlic. And when you roast it, it gets very sweet, so it doesn't have that cutting bite that raw garlic has. So again, I'd use about 3 cloves here if you can. You're going to add in a little bit of freshly cracked salt and a little bit of freshly cracked pepper as well. And then we're going to stir everything to combine until it's nice and creamy. Now we're ready to assemble. First, take the roasted garlic cream cheese spread and place it on the toast, covering the entire piece. And then take 2 slices of heirloom tomato. I get these are kind of big, but it's so yummy. And next, we're going to go ahead and place some basil on the tomato toast, just wherever you'd like. Again, basil and tomato is an amazing pairing and so good. Just going to place this piece underneath the toast even. After putting it on a plate, drizzle a little bit of extra virgin olive oil for that extra decadence. And then we're going to crack some fresh salt and pepper on the toast, so that makes it extra yummy. This dish really highlights the amazing flavors of heirloom tomatoes when they're in season. Now time to taste the heirloom tomato toast. This one is really yummy too. This yellow tomato is so fresh, so good. And these would be really yummy, even just with a little bit of the olive oil and basil over them, salt and pepper. I also put balsamic over this sometimes, so good. I hope you enjoyed the tomato toast recipes that I made for you today. If so, please like and subscribe. And you can also find me on Instagram at Jenyocum, which is at JENYOCUM. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.